All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Aimbot. For those of you who don't know and are new here from GDQ, this is a show all about shooters. So first-person shooters, third-person shooters, sometimes shows that don't have guns. We do things like Call of Duty, Gears of War, The Witness, but specifically tonight, it's going to be an arena shooter night. So we've got Metal Hellsinger and Gunfire Reborn coming up. But a couple quick announcements before we get into that. Frost Vitel's 2023 prize submissions are open from now until February 20th. Go to gamesdonequick.com for more info, or use !prizes in Twitch chat to learn more. And Unapologetically Black and Fast is coming up February 11th to the 12th. Celebrate Black Excellence and Speedrunning coming up next month. Exclamation point UBAF in Twitch chat for more info. So, some of you who have been here for a while will recognize that I had this run on a little while ago, but it was from CrimsonBloodedRuby, who absolutely just stepped up the day of, because this runner was having some internet issues. So I said, hey, not your fault. Come back and do it again. So he's here to do it for you. Shadowfang Live showing off Metal Hellsinger.
Hello. Let's see. Well, before I get started, I'm going to go and explain a couple of things, mainly the little bit of loadouts that I'm planning on using. So first of all, Vulcan is kind of the bread and butter for the whole run. It's just massive damage, AoE and whatnot. And then we got Hellcrows for the boss. Pretty much only used for boss damage and next to nothing else. And then we have this little sigil called Ghost Rounds, which if you constantly switch weapons, you basically get free ammo. It's made so that the first attacks after switching weapons don't use ammo, but if you just keep juggling weapons, then you literally don't run out of ammo. And then Last Breath Ages allows you to deal double damage as long as you're low in health. So that's like the standard build at this time for like the majority of the speedruns. But for Beast, it's still not 100%. I've only gotten one run done so far where I stayed on this route the whole time. I have a backup safe route that I use where I swap this out for these due to their ultimates. They're called the Hounds. And then I swap out the Last Breath Ages for Ultimate Sovereignty, which allows me to charge my ults a lot faster, so I can just basically constantly pelt through the enemies and not have to worry as much about, constantly managing my health. So.
Sounds good.
Yep. Alrighty. Basically, the way this whole run works is as soon as you enter Voke, the timer would begin the moment you actually click Enter Hell on the next screen, not this one. And then the timer will end as soon as you beat this level. And you're supposed to go in order. And since it's all forced encounters, I'm not supposed to skip any of the, forced encounters. So it's glitchless, essentially. Alrighty. Let's make sure I didn't swap anything here. All right, we're good to go. So
whenever you're ready.
I'll do a little countdown when this loads. I got my own splits too, but 3, 2, 1, go. So a lot of the enemies can be skipped by in between like these rooms.
Thankfully, a lot of the enemies and the first rooms being the marionettes, the little skinny dudes, and the cambions being the little buff dudes are generally pretty easy to deal with on the early starting levels. Vulcan one-shots the little marionettes when you have 8 or 16 times Fury, as you can see on the top of the screen. as all forced encounters get released. Each of these rooms has a barrier, and having to each of these you have to grab the entire room. Mainly spawn memorization. Though sometimes spawn you can't deal with. Completely definite. And as well as Shadow mentioned earlier, he is using something called Aegis, which means when he's on low health, he gets double damage. So that's the reason he let himself get down to just so he can kill enemies quicker and level fast. It can be a bit risky later.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how dangerous does that make a lot of these levels? Like, are the spawns fixed?
Not really. They are. Oops. 1 second. Let me get back on beat. There we go. They're sort of based upon where you're standing.
Okay, so that's why you're not trying to move around too much. Do
Exactly.
they try to spawn in your field of view or out of it?
They kind of have like fixed points around the map based on where you are. So for the most part, like if I go back here, those champions will always spawn there. And there's one that would spawn right here as long as I'm not too close. But it looks like it went somewhere else.
Shall we go ahead and poke him? Sucks lesser enemies and
call me a pessimist because I have a bad feeling
pacifying them.
Does it
And I
ever
got the skip.
Ooh, nice. Does it ever mess you up switching beat between the level and the boss?
Yes. Actually, a lot. There's a level later on in the game that has really fast BPM, and the boss levels have the same song throughout up until the last one. And the BPM is rather really low.
This ends here. I shall not be overcome. Wounding me will only make me one coward.
Oh, well, 2 cycle. Wow, I didn't know you could do that.
All right. So there's about 7 seconds or so in between these menus. It's basically non-negotiable. It's like, it takes, roughly 7 seconds, at least for me at a minimum, to get between menus. On levels where I'm going to swap builds, the timer would count against you, but right here, the timer doesn't go. So like, for the sake of making things easier on, the mods for verifying, they try to make it so, try your best to keep the in-between time to a minimum. But you can get a small break.
So this was the demo level, right?
Correct. Actually, funny enough, the demo consists of the first 2 levels. And actually, I think the third one too. Part of it. Nope, just the first 2.
Are you sure it didn't just...
It might have been part of the tutorial as well, actually. Because you fought the second boss. You got introduced to the behemoth and got Persephone. Oh, I got lucky on the spawns there.
Makes a kind of electricity.
Sometimes a marionette dashes behind the wall or something and becomes untargetable.
So a lot of people in chat really like this song. Do you have a favorite, or is it kind of all background noise at this point?
My favorite would be Yum. I like that song a lot. But as far as boss fights, honestly, Sheol. It reminds me a lot of Doom Eternal. Uh-oh. So I'm gonna have to grab some health. So the game is pretty nice in one way, being it's technically when you're low on HP, if you get hit, you go to like one more shot left. Essentially the health bar goes to 0. But you get that free hit, you know?
Yeah, kind of like a last stand thing.
Yep. The only problem is some attacks do more than one hit. Like a dot.
I think there's like a shield and Cambia. Siege behemoths have accent.
Actually, I think all the dot is introduced in the next level.
All the what?
All the dot attacks.
Uh-oh.
So how generous is the explosion from the crossbow? Like,
So it seems to be in a quantum state sometimes. So a lot of it comes down to health crystals or the Styx crystals. Some of them you can hit directly or like land the explosion right next to it and they won't blow up. And other times, like, you could miss by like 50 feet and it would still blow up. For the most part, for the most part, it's fairly generous. Like, right. Yeah, I was hitting that guy pretty far away.
and then how difficult is? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. How difficult is it to like maintain the 16x? Like I know when I played through, I had a really hard time, but also I played through New Game.
Okay, yeah. Basically, as soon as you unlock, so there's this thing hidden, kind of poorly, but if you just saw on the left side of my screen, so it says boons lost. There's these things called boons that you unlock passively as you go through the game. And like right now I got Enduring Fury. That makes it so that the Fury drops slower.
Oh, okay.
Once you unlock it, it's permanently equipped. I actually want him to hit me.
Maybe I'll lay on the damage there.
Judge's second.
Yeah, that was a little too much. What I think I'm gonna do, just to skip the
funny to find. Most of the time enough.
Ooh.
Most of the time enough for the bosses. Judge
Yeah.
being the giant flying boss that you fight. Her attacks aren't the main thing you need to worry about early on in the game. Later on, though, her attacks do higher.
So I was going to do a reset real quick. That's okay.
The whole run?
If that's fine. We were only like 2 levels in. If that's not fine, that's fine. I can keep going.
Yeah, I mean, if you could just keep going, I think that would probably work.
Okay. Let's just let's do that better with feeling.
Yeah.
So my little strat there was to try to make it so that I could skip her long invulnerability phase that she has, and then pick up the health crystal right before she hit me with that fireball attack. But that didn't work out.
It just show off more in the game, though.
Yeah, a little bit.
Are there any other theorized builds that don't use the crossbow, or is it just because it does so much AoE?
It is arguably overpowered. Basically, it has AoE. It also has the most single target damage outside of the Hellcrows.
Kind of electricity.
Really? I would have thought,
Well, sorry,
No.
the Persephone does, but you have to fire every other beat.
okay, yeah, that's the pistols, right? No, that's a shotgun. I don't remember what the
Shotgun, yeah.
pistols are called.
The Hounds.
The hounds. Those don't have doesn't have higher damage than,
Every beat, you can deal 15. Or, sorry, 950.
Every beat you can 50 with, and hounds only deal about 760 if you see damage number. Beat.
Vulcan is 970 before the double damage.
9-7.
You're good.
Mainly what makes the ideal speed runs, and unfortunately the only thing that can be chosen. Actually, it has the second to highest damage per beat,
They were ready.
and
At least they tried.
and since ghost rounds exists, you to get 8 extra free shots off. It sort of turns it into the biggest killing.
And yeah, when you put in the fact you can fire literally every beat, even its damage outclasses Persephone. Sadly.
The Hellcrows also are a good option, and the main reason are because they have no. But also, if you are at opposites on their active, they will just turn around and come straight back to the enemy twice then. Per shot essentially. So, be very useful dealing with an enemy at a certain.
No naked ear is coming, all right.
And as you saw there,
This ain't quiet.
that Cambion spawned behind me. So the spawns are sometimes quite a bit more random than you'd want.
Also, a sort of little to keeping you, because Shadow's trying to stay at a low health rate. I think it's at 25% of the last breath's Aegis activated.
I believe so.
He smashed the green 6 crystal and was far enough away to only pick up some of the health. That way he didn't have to so hard to get back.
Is there an indicator on screen for when you know you're in last breath, or is it just kind of like when the music mutes?
Pretty much when the music mutes.
Okay.
And the heartbeat sort of overrides the actual audio. We brought it up, or we've talked a little bit about it in the past, how it'd be kind of nice to have like a accessibility option that allowed you to kind of turn that down or off so you could hear the song.
Yeah. Or something, something like why to hear the song. I feel like it's sort of a bit of a. I know sometimes as you can somewhat hear a heartbeat, because maybe it can be a little hard on the ears with
Just the
F
second aspect.
Get
Just
lower.
wait first.
It also doesn't help that sometimes you getting low is directly adjacent or like perpendicular or whatever to the actual beat of the song itself. So they're like, you can have it like out of phase at such a weird time interval.
I think that was the first time you brought out the skull. Yeah, and for people who don't know, this just kind of helps keep combo when there's nothing to shoot.
Correct. It is Paz. I don't use it as much as I should, honestly.
Behold the face of infernal
I rely on triple dashes way more for keeping my fury up. There's a lot of weird combos in the game that they added, especially it's a new update. They added like some ones called Basilisk mode and whatnot. That took her longer than usual. So weirdly enough, you don't need to stay at 16 times. 16 times is just the, the vocals. Which,
Yeah.
it's cool and all.
Makes the song, it makes the levels better.
It does. 8 times is where the damage maxes out. So this is the one I was telling about. That's my favorite.
My second favorite out of all. It's
Well,
when
the
we get
smart
close.
money is probably not on us. But who don't love an underdog?
That's what it.
First of Yelb's Death Guard.
It's a little thing I do at the beginning here. If the shield champion cooperates. Which it did.
Mentioned. There are some enemies at the game that he has that shield. That is sort of rapid fire that you gotta go for.
Are there any enemies that it's better to, I don't remember what it's called, but like glory kill them? Where like it would be better to do that than to kick them down with the crossbow?
In Arc Devil for sure. And when I'm not using Last Breath Ages, yes. Because the reason I avoid doing it is because you can heal off of the slaughter.
Right. I totally forgot about that.
A very helpful mechanic build everyone speedrun.
Yes. It's very tempting to actually just do it regardless.
Yeah, you see the flashy button and you gotta press it.
So also, I mean, it can be negligible sometimes. Yeah, it also does take up a bit more shooting the trio.
But if I do get desperate and I think I'm about to die, those iframes come in really handy.
Being our sights again. ILS, a bug game, spits acid clouds. And it finished right away. Probably, is my opinion.
They are. Them and Seraphs. For me.
Their poison clouds can not only damage you, but slow you down to the point where you can't really out of them dash out. It can just be very annoying to deal with.
Their dot clouds still set you to 1, or do they just tick beyond that?
They tick for 2. They tick twice after hitting you. So I'd be dead right now if I got hit by one. And which wasn't brought up earlier, yes, Beast does. Actually, I think I saw you bring it up.
Yeah, I mentioned it, but it's dying instantly kicks you out, as opposed to the other difficulties, right? Where it lets you retry.
Correct.
I think twice.
Yeah, so Lamb, you get 3 lives. You get 2 on Goat. And then you get 1 anything higher than that. I cannot hit him.
I think I did Goat on my playthrough, and even then it was really hard. Like, to play at this this value of health is pretty dangerous for a while.
Yeah, and very much. I'm still working up my island. You know, just a stray eyeless shot, an unfortunate end of and the rest of it, you get no extra. And now that with a new update is a harder difficulty, though, since it's in
I guess it's not quite
speedrunning.
More like a
Yeah, it's
nothing like an endless.
it's scary. It actually it makes Beast look like you're playing on Lamb. Honestly.
I assume it just increases enemy health like even more.
That you take way more damage. They add a new enemy type. They double the amount of enemies basically.
And they introduce a lot harder enemy, almost at the beginning of the entire.
Yeah,
Oof.
I completely forgot to mention that part.
So like
You fight a Seraph at the very beginning.
Oh, jeez.
Seraph.
I'm gonna pick that up.
Good. Playing it safe.
Mostly because I was in a very bad position and I do not know where that last Oh, did I kill it already? I thought there was one more eyeless hiding.
Yeah, the problem with this, I think it's known as Deathguard. This game, your enemies can fast-lane, get messy. So if you're not careful, they come back spooky and kill you. Oh.
I know when there's something that lets you see enemies through the wall if they like hang around for too long.
That turns out it's a passive.
Oh, okay.
It's sort of if you've waited long enough, or like if you can't find each other and you're playing Ring Around the Rosie, like cambions often do. Then you can see through walls with any of the weapons. I thought it was only paths for a while, because I was trying to keep my combo up every time it happened.
Also credit to the music in the background.
Exactly.
Probably the highest time. Finds its best.
Finally, Unknown was glad to be out of the way.
Alright, so I lucked out there. Didn't get hit by the actual
Flash I saw.
projectile, I believe, with that cloud. And I was able to dash out of it.
Process.
Just comes sprinting into the cutscene.
On to
To find me.
Yon. This one isn't easy finding in me.
As long as you do not get hit by that. Yeah. So as I don't know who to credit for the original discovery, but someone figured out that you can just hide here when she does her pretty massive attack.
Oh, I always hide on the balanced.
Your song ends now.
And you're just using the crossbow here because it's not really possible to get close enough to her to crow her, whatever.
She
You
has
know what I
a shield,
Yeah.
kind of.
Like going under it would be just too dangerous.
Yeah.
It can be, yeah.
I find the best defense.
Because she kind of rapidly goes to her attack phase if you're not careful. I do not know the point of that transition there. She takes 2 hits and then immediately leaves. I wasn't fast enough. She's probably gonna do her. Nope, I did it.
Nice.
So I skipped her scripted AOE there, or her thing where she sends attacks all over the arena, and that's where you just duck up here. Or
And did you skip another wave of enemies too? I think as well.
there were the 2 waves as usual.
Oh, I must have missed the other one.
I don't know how I killed the behemoth so fast. I was really not paying attention to it.
Yeah, being on low health with Asper's Aegis, all the lesser enemies, which are the ones we've seen so far, are pretty easy to finish off in just a couple of shots with the Vulcan crossbow.
All right, so this used to be one of the levels that I had to play with Last Breath off. But I have sort of learned how to do it. For me, honestly, the hardest part is balancing the health. On lower difficulties, unlike Goat and Lamb, I think the current strat is to just sit in a lava pit.
Oh, just to immediately last breath?
Yeah, so you just sit here until you get damaged enough.
Yeah, because I suppose dying doesn't really come with any. I mean, time loss a little bit, but
Yeah. But for me, I found that typically by the time I get to Last Breath, there's kind of a lot of enemies.
Wonder how it would
Oh, I lucked
when
out there,
the
too.
ritual had succeeded.
There's usually a marionette or 2 that kind of take forever to spawn. So I'm going to do a fun little skip here. I have enough health to do it that I didn't need to pick up the extra health. Well, I take that back now.
Airfield was working some darker magic.
Unlucky marionette hit.
Whoa!
Oops.
did the game crash?
The
Crash.
game just crashed, yeah. Let me just
Goodness,
relaunch it.
I think that happened on my end once too
Yeah.
when I was doing it. Yeah, the game still unfortunately is. It's ever so slightly unstable. You're going to find some nicks and bugs here and there, but thankfully it's all mostly playable.
On the bright side, apparently they fixed the bigger issue with it, which was it wouldn't crash. It would actually hang your whole computer. They actually have like a little thing that detects when the game is breaking, I guess now. There's like a little window that pops up.
They also seem to, with their most recent update, they also seem to have, also don't forget to reshare your screen when you get a chance, Shadow.
Okay, you know what? I'll just do that right now real quick. I know it's bad timing, but...
We got time. You're gonna do this. You're a pretty fast runner.
Yeah, I think I remember that happening to you too, Crimson. That's kind of interesting. Because, like, I assume that doesn't happen in normal runs, right? Your game just doesn't crash.
For the most part, no.
Something about GDQ, man.
I've had probably 4 or 5 runs in total ruined because of a weird bug. Like the game crashing, hanging up, or something. The most annoying was the second to last level. The boss got stuck in the invincibility phase.
On the last level?
The second to last level, yeah.
Oh,
I think. Oh, wait, it's not Nile.
Acheron.
Oh. I know. With the third to last level, there was also a if you finished a phase too quickly, it would soft lock the level.
Yep.
But it looks like they've. I'm not too sure about that specifically, but thankfully with their more recent patches, it looks like.
Let me through.
I would have won if Ritual had succeeded.
So
some of the bugs for like being locked and soft locked in the levels are fixed now, thankfully.
basically, this fun little skip, as I was trying to say, all it does is it, you know, looks for the nearest land to put you back on, and then it just was like, oh. It used to have a much wider area you could go into. You used to be able to jump directly into the lava pit, basically. But they added a really wide collision. And if you hit it, it just immediately resets you back to the beginning of the room.
That's kind of mean. Just to avoid things like. Well, so this is all forced encounters, right? Yes. So I know that there's an 80% category that kind of just clips out of bounds everywhere. Do you have to down patch for that?
Currently, I believe so. Still.
Okay.
They kind of went really patch heavy early on, and most of the stuck boost and other things people were doing are pretty much impossible now.
Oh, that's unfortunate. But this is on current patch, I would assume?
Correct. I was really tempted to down patch the patch before the current one. Just because they only updated the game like a few days ago. And I had some FPS issues for like one of my runs, and I was worried that it was going to carry here. But it seemed to have stabilized, so I was like, oh, okay.
Introducing as well one of the newest enemies so far, the Aerophant, with an H at the beginning. It is the yellow enemy with a star-like pattern behind its back. It will summon explosive projectiles that slowly walk towards you, and its own types of marionettes that will explode when they get close to you or you damage and try to kill them. Generally, they're pretty easy to deal with. You just need to make sure you don't just watch out for the enemies that it summons.
Correct. Very so. I would say this room in particular is annoying, mostly because the eyeless from the last level like to spawn in weird corners and play keep away. So there's like a little scavenger hunt that happens.
Shame that whole army got turned to ash.
Is there ever a major issue with like from the non-forced encounters, like enemies following you?
Not really, because as soon as you go into a room, I'll show you. Doors.
Oh, it just locks it off? Okay. And they can't get through that?
Correct.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
And usually the game's pretty good about just immediately despawning them once the door closes.
Well, that was another introduction there.
Oh yeah,
Killed
I
really
was
fast.
I was gonna say, and with another introduction of the new enemy that Shadow so rudely just killed him immediately. Just kidding. Is the Siege Behemoth, but we'll be seeing more in the next level. I see someone. Oh, that was you, Amy. Okay.
Yeah, someone asked favorite songs. My favorite is Stygia. I know Shadow said his favorite was Vogue, and I do not remember what you said yours was.
I think it was Yelm, right, Shadow?
Yeah.
No, yours is Nile.
Oh, well, I mean, I know what. Yeah, no, mine's Nile, which is going to be coming further up because it is the fastest song in the game. But I was just clarifying. I don't think his is Vogue.
Nope, it's Yum.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it was the previous level song, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really good female vocals. Nice background music. I mean, all the songs are really good.
Yeah, I was I played the demo of this. I was honestly surprised at how good the final music was in the game. I get that's, they definitely tried to make it really good, but they did a really good job with it.
All right, so there's a
Shadow wants.
I'd seen this before too.
There was an Eyeless.
So I'm not going to be risky here because see what I mean? Did you see how close I hit to that? That didn't blow up. But,
Yeah, we have. Go ahead.
her attacks here are kind of unforgiving. I can dodge most of them just easily, but if I get caught out by accident by that flame or whatever.
Yeah, so this is the arena where they really start throwing in environmental hazards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They kind of. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, this is definitely one of the more interesting arenas because with environmental hazards. I think there's two other arenas that really sort of have the different environments as well.
So on.
Go ahead.
There's a strat on Goat where you just chill here, but I feel like she still has too much HP. Unless it... I don't think her HP actually changes. I just think she moves too fast for me to take advantage of that. And if she hits you with pretty much any of those attacks and you're at that low HP, you just pretty much die. I don't know. Have we done a side-by-side to see
Of what?
her HP?
Oh,
It
not
doesn't feel
really,
like she
no.
gains any.
Yeah, even on the next difficulty up, a lot of the enemies get more HP, but it feels like she is almost the same. She just gets a lot more. Sorry about that. She just gets a lot more stronger attacks.
Yeah, especially Vogue. That's the most noticeable for how unchanging her HP is. You can get away with the phase skip every time.
I always find her quips funny for talking about how you are never going to defeat her when you are rapidly bringing her health bar to 0.
Rapidly defeating her.
Yeah, so Gehenna. This is the first one that I'm gonna go my safe build on. All right.
Yes.
So
The hounds.
this is brutal. Now the timer would be typically going while I was there, so the goal is to get through that part as fast as possible and into this loading screen. But there's they introduce a new enemy type here that is by far one of my biggest kryptonites in this game.
Yeah, when me and Shadow were working our way through these games here, when me and Shadow were working our way through the game for the first time, we were sort of playing side by side. Gehenna, I feel like, was probably one of the levels that gave us the most problems with.
It was definitely the turning point for us going from being like, oh yeah, we can do this to, oh god. Just for a side-by-side, like a, I guess, context here. We were both playing at the same time through everything. And it took us, what was it, about 28 hours?
Well, certainly not of playing the game itself, but
Of like total time we played, I believe, to get through Beast.
it was a fun 28 hours though. Okay, and here we can see the star of the show, the Beast, in a very small enclosed space can be very dangerous with his multitude of attacks and area slams.
I love this hook right here. So introduce the new enemy, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, funny enough, some of the sections, especially the ones where they introduce new enemies, are not forced encounters, so you can just run right by them without even paying them any mind. But we'll be seeing a couple of the new Seraph in this room, which are essentially angels coming down and assisting the demons with this threat that you pose.
You're so threatening that Hell decided to partner with Heaven to get rid of you. Wow, I got lucky there. She didn't dodge anything.
They can be, the Seraphs tend to be very slippery in the fact that they will sort of spin left and right in the air, and with something as the Vulcan, if you don't have a wall to shoot it against, to like just get the explosion off, and the projectile is like paper thin, so if you miss by a hair, it pretty much does nothing.
Like that.
The hounds are a good counter to that. Counter to them sometimes, just because they have a lot of health and they deal decent damage. And I think they also have a slightly bigger projectile path than the Vulcan does.
More than likely. It does feel like they have a bit of a generous window. The Vulcan, while it has a massive splash, its projectile is actually pretty much like a pixel perfect, like pinpoint beam.
I take a gander that it's probably almost just a hit scan weapon.
Quite possibly. It might actually be treated like a sniper rifle. So this room is the room that I have died in the most times, probably in the entire game. Mostly because of the Seraphs.
Yeah. Surprisingly, there's a lot of places to be, but it's still very enclosed and not very many places to stand and for mobility. Because one of the key things with Seraphs is you need to be on the move so you don't get hit by their explosions or their beam attacks, which Shadow's playing nice and safe right now and taking care of the Seraph first thing as well as healing up. As well as we get to see the Hounds, which are the Revolver's ultimate, which summons a sort of shadow figure of you, and it sort of auto-targets stuff and shoots at it for a bit.
Does it actually act as a decoy, or is it just like a turret?
Kind of like a turret.
Okay.
It fires fast enough that it can actually, sometimes it seems to stagger some enemies.
Really handy to deal with Seraphs, considering they have pinpoint accuracy.
Yeah, you get a free aimbot.
Hey.
Right. Oh gosh, that took me a minute. Moving on to this room here. I'm just gonna let Shadow sort of concentrate it. Yeah. So Shadow's gonna go ahead and concentrate a bit here. If you saw me playing this last room here, this room is probably the room I've died the most times in myself personally, because it's a very enclosed space, and they bring out some of the bigger creatures that it's more of a fact that they can get to you in an instant, and running around in a tiny space only buys you maybe a second of time before they get back to you again. And also they decide to summon flying enemies in here. How generous of them.
At least the slaughter kill on them was pretty fast. Seems like.
Yeah.
Yes.
It seems like most slaughter kills I think were 2 beats. But that's still pretty fast.
Yeah, thankfully with Seraphs they have the quicker slaughter animation, just like the Cambions and Marionettes.
I think the most amusing thing about it is if you jump before it, you get the death from above. Like essentially a combo. Just as like an extra, rubbing it in.
And also, did you already explain Ultimate Sovereignty, Shadow? I forgot.
I didn't actually do it well, so go ahead.
Okay. So, one of the things that Shadow did re-equip for this build in this world to make it go a little bit easier and smoother, he no longer has the extra damage on low health, but he has something called Ultimate Sovereignty, which basically charges up your ultimate ability for each weapon, as shown on the yellow bar on the bottom right of your HUD, every beat. So it can be handy to quickly get your Hound's Sentry out or your Vulcan's sort of gravity field out, which was really handy against those masses of large enemies in the previous rooms.
That was kind of weirdly timed. If you kill her too quick, when she's in the middle doing the wind attack, you get kind of stuck in the wind attack, and she can keep using her tons of projectiles, and you're kind of really in a bad spot. I just timed my dashes really well to not take any damage.
And I'm aware this is a dumb question, but I'll ask it anyway. The dashes give iframes through the whole thing, or just part way through?
As far as it seems to be the very beginning. If it's on beat, it seems to be the start of it.
It's also something I've noticed myself, definitely as well, being on the start of the beat. if anyone is familiar with, Crypto the Necrodancer, I think it is, or even I think probably BPM, bullets per minute, would probably be a better example. A lot of attacks on those games happen on beat and are strictly on beat, so you're guaranteed when dashing. You're guaranteed when dashing at an attack that you will not be harmed at all, unless your dash finishes and the attack is you're still going through the attack. Middle Hellsinger here. Not everything is strictly on beat. I think enemies do fire on beat, but they do not. But since their attacks are like have a travel time, their destination isn't necessarily on beat, so it's not always a guarantee that dashing will save you out of a situation unless you dash every single beat.
Exactly.
I never actually noticed that they shoot on beat. I mean, I believe y'all, but yeah, I'm in awe of games like this, honestly. I think they're really cool.
A very nice combination of genres, I think, indeed.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we were definitely really happy when we were playing BPM, bullets per minute. That was a really fun game.
Hopefully that doesn't run out before.
Ooh, nice. Got a little extra damage, but unlucky.
Yep. I thought I was good, and then I was like, oh no! I gotta reload.
All right, and we are going to be on to our next level, Nile, the third to last level in this run.
Back to my not safe build, because ironically it's safer to fight the boss with the not safe build.
Go ahead.
The enemies are indeed surprisingly a little bit toned down. I think mainly it's got to do with the bigger open environments from the previous level in Gehenna. All right, go ahead.
Is the sword ultimate used any on previous? Obviously not on these difficulties. It'd be way too dangerous to like get too close. But is it used on any like lower difficulties? Because the ultimate is pretty good, right?
It is very good. I haven't seen it used in a run. Funny enough, I actually started incorporating into my shield if I'm doing the safe build.
Yeah, the one problem with Terminus, the sword Terminus, can be the fact that its ultimate is good, but you will have to select it every now and again to charge it up, which can.
That was weird. I thought I killed her.
If you have the time for it, it can definitely be a viable option, but at the same time, it can steal a little bit of time from shooting up other enemies.
It's also really risky.
Oh yeah,
as you were saying earlier, Amarylin.
Yeah, like I'd imagine less risky on lower difficulties where, you know, A, death doesn't matter as much, and B, enemies don't do as much damage. But
yeah.
And now you just showed off.
Yeah.
First appearance.
I was like, you know what, we're talking about it. And it's just marionettes right next to me.
Yeah.
Another new introduction to an enemy, the Void Stalker, that we're just gonna completely ignore.
You think that's why they're trying to kill me?
How dare you ignore our friend? I know when I was looking at some demo world records, I think they used the Terminus, in at least the first part.
For earlier difficulties, the Terminus, I think, can one-shot marionettes. on max damage. So it is definitely a viable option. Especially for the fact that it doesn't require ammo.
In one of the recent updates, actually it might have been one of the earlier, maybe like 2-3 patches ago, they lowered the length of the ultimate of the sword of Turnus. But they increased
right, yeah, yeah, they lowered the. There you go. They lowered the duration of its charge, but they increased how fast it will recharge, or how much you get from killing enemies with it. One fun fact about the Terminus ultimate is that if you are midway through it and you switch to another weapon, it will save whatever ultimate you have left over rather than using it all.
I got lucky there. A Seraph usually goes down the mid.
Also, we saw one in a previous room that little blue creature that has sort of electric attacks is known as a Void Stalker, and it has a little bit less mobility than the regular green sort of looking Stalker, but at the same time it has more powerful attacks that also can drain your fury.
They were getting twisted.
I remember being stuck on this judge forever. Just because for some reason, this one just destroyed me.
I was going to make the joke that she has some of the longest transitions in the game. You could quite literally go grab a bite of pizza, drink a soda, and like still be in the run.
Right, yeah. I should have had some pizza on me last time.
Yeah, you would have gotten the world record, man.
And you're just
Go ahead.
You're just doing enough damage to like. So she's not doing any attacks. She's just instantly transitioning, and you're doing enough damage to just knock her out of the phase immediately, right?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Because otherwise I'd have to endure a bullet hell.
Thankfully, though, her bullet hells in this one are just as much as her transitions are very slow. So generally, this boss is more of a sit around and let her do her thing than actually I'm killing her.
So this next part's a little risky to try to, stop her from doing her attacks.
Oh, have they not patched it yet?
No, they patched that.
Oh, okay.
It's just if I'm not fast enough. Okay, I was fast enough.
I was astonished you went for the Seraph's Embrace there to get down.
Oh, I totally forgot a Void Stalker spawned here. But yeah, these rooms are a lot more, or this room is a lot more open-ended, so quite a bit easier to maneuver around and work on the enemies.
And it's the same enemy spawns every time for every room, right? There's not like a variance.
Yeah, same every time. So she doesn't stay invincible forever anymore. However, for some reason, this does still take forever? Or did they not fix that?
Oh, hopefully.
Did I encounter the bug again?
Oh, no.
I was too fast.
Yeah, unfortunately, one of the bugs in this boss fight is if you kill her too fast, it can soft lock the fight.
Dang.
Which looks like is what Shadow encountered here.
So
I
that's what I
assume
meant
they
by
patched it.
That's what I meant by invincibility phase in Acheron, the next one. That's what happened. for me. Funny enough, the Nile one didn't start doing that to me until after a couple patches in.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't encounter that one for a bit as well, but I guess we're just getting too fast for the game, honestly. I see someone in the chat wrote pizza %.
Exactly. Another small quirk is dying counts as the level completing, simply because it's the end screen.
Huh. I didn't think about that,
Yeah.
but that would be a kind of a way to cheese it.
So you could do
Yeah.
a death percent.
Just die through every single level. I mean, that would mean the easy and
Wow.
medium, or goat and lamb difficulties would be harder because you'd have to die more.
Exactly. It'd be the only category where the higher the difficulty, the faster the run.
I think at some point as well, don't quote me on this, but they are planning on working for adding like custom, just to implement like custom music into that, if I'm not mistaken, Shadow. Or the ability to like just import your own music. Ooh, a little bit too unlucky with the lava there.
I'll just have to take damage in the next room.
Thankfully, you got a Void Stalker right there if you wanna.
I guess no one expected her to make it so far.
That was weird.
Everyone except for me.
I was so low on a Fury, I couldn't kill a Marionette with one hit.
And knowing that that guy's not going to one-shot you is playing it dangerous, but I respect it.
Though, also shout outing, since we get to play through this song again, I personally wish they had a little bit more fast-paced songs, or like a song that was faster paced than this, but I personally like this song a lot because of how fast the beat is.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes the level go by faster because you can just output way more DPS.
Yeah. I think the enemies attacked faster too, but I'm not 100% sure.
It always confuses me why that lava attack does more damage than the shots do from the Cambion.
So what made you want to decide to run all forced encounters instead of like any %? Just
I like seeing more of the level.
Yeah.
That's really all it came down to.
Yeah, absolutely fair.
Because I asked myself that. Oh, no.
Oh,
Oh, wow, they fixed that.
oh, that was a lucky fall there.
So I was going to bring up that exact crystal, that Styx crystal for one of the bugged ones, but it seems they've actually fixed it. I was unable to shoot it with either the hounds or the Vulcan directly.
Oh yeah, in the lower, in the previous patches.
Yep.
Look me in the eye.
All right, hopefully we go slow enough this time. Weirdly enough.
Yeah, that's interesting. You got to like take your time on that transition.
I think as well when I ran that when I was running that I think I soft locked as well, and I ended up just waiting a little bit then skipping the level because would have beaten the boss anyways, but
Yeah, I could have done the same. I was only like 3 attacks away from.
I think probably what causes her to have to take so much time, take so much time to transition is because every time she transitions, she has to sync up with the music.
Oh, and she can't just ever get back on beat. Yeah, I guess that would make sense.
Because like if there's no like definite time that you're going, definite beat you're going to kill her. So
See, now that would be very interesting to look into. I'm so lucky. That should have hit.
oh yeah, that's true. If you can calculate like the measures of like when the transition is about to happen and kill her specifically, like right before each one of those, sort of be like Mario's running
The bus. We're bringing in the bus analogy. Yeah,
What?
every what is it?
Oh,
Every 2 frames or something.
I don't know anything about that one. I was going to talk about the original Mario Bros. Frame rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the famous bus analogy, where pretend you're waiting for a bus that only comes every, I think, 35 frames.
Oh wow. I've never heard it explained like that, but that makes total sense.
Hopefully that was slow enough. Yeah, it does look like
Alright.
it was. Also, I would have died there had I not picked up the crystal.
Yeah. A little
I
bit
think
of a
really-
close encounter.
Nice.
I was going to say, I literally took damage as I picked it up. The health activated first. That was just pure luck. Because I've had it do it the other way around, where you're standing on the crystals and it refuses to heal you.
There is also some unlucky times where the crystals can go some you can't. Even if it's like little on the ground. It's a tad travel time.
This was accurate.
All right. So there's a story reason, but this level you do not have pass.
But our bond wasn't broken. Just on hiatus.
It makes it a little bit harder of the skull has to maintain your.
They try to compensate by throwing those everywhere. But sometimes it's not enough.
Even the transitions have probably an uptick on the enemies than normal transitions do.
The
Weirdly
beat is
enough, I
also
found
so
it's-
slow.
Yeah, this is by far the slowest, I believe.
I've not actually done the calculations for that, but it certainly does sound like I'm seeing like one.
Anyway, what were you saying, Shadow?
I was going to say, weirdly enough, I've found that most times it is faster to clear this room by just walking in circles instead of like sitting there and waiting for them to come to you, because they get stuck on this wall a lot of the time. So it's like you finish a lap and then you turn around, go the other way around, and then you just keep doing that. Where'd you go?
See, I thought he was inside the thing.
Especially Seraphs get stuck on it.
I've had a Seraph die before.
Oh, really? Those shipping containers are a bit of terrain.
Yeah, I was chasing one and it just like went into that container and disappeared off the map one time. Also, that one just like literally warped. Like one frame it was one place and then it was just teleported.
Trains run here. Not ever. Tunnel's so dark and deep, ain't
At least on my end. Yeah, they're annoying. I've had them time somersaults before, like basically backflips to avoid the splash damage from Vulcan before. So this one's pretty straightforward. You pretty much stand on this square. Unless it's occupied.
Unless they ask you politely to move.
Yeah, the Void Stalkers look really threatening. But honestly, they take so long to attack sometimes and just kind of do their lightning, like, weaving stuff so much that you can get right up in their face.
Yeah, me and Shadow have been having debates of like whether the Stalker in one of or the Void Stalker. At one point we were talking about like, oh, do they even have more? They do. I think what probably makes the Void Stalker a little bit easier is the fact that they don't like constantly zagging.
If you touch that, yeah, sorry. I was gonna say if you touch that water, you get reset to the beginning of the room. I have no idea why. Yep. I was also too fast. There's 2 Saras that spawn up there. The most recent patch, for some reason, or the second most recent patch, made it so they spawn a little slower. So it used to be that if you were sprinting past, you get tagged by their AoE. Now they don't even know you exist. I would say this room is probably one of the ones that I could get a lot of time save on in the future, because it is really hard to figure out where everything's spawning, even though it's pretty open.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a lot of stuff to get stuck on here too. Do the stomp radiation hitboxes? I don't know quite what to call it, but the stomps that the behemoths do those, like, the hitboxes on those feel inaccurate. I'm not sure what y'all feel about that, but to me it always felt like I was jumping out of the way of them, and then it like snapshot me in my last place.
Oh, the sword attacks or the fire wave?
The fire wave behemoths.
Yeah.
Lay down.
I've had that in the past. I've found that, like, just jumping right next to them seems to work. Because I used to try to jump and go backwards, and I would accidentally get hit by the attack like 3 times. Or like 2 or 3 times by doing that.
Yeah, sort of a full sense of, oh, I can dodge that. It doesn't dodge it. I'm personally, Shadow's certainly a long with shooters. So I'm a less apt, I'd say, to those like ring attacks that are big, but they have like probably a different hitbox to how they look. So I get hit a ton more by those than probably should be. I'd say that they're generally
chaos.
For myself, at least, they're generally pretty
Keep grinding souls down to nothing and back.
a little bit bigger than they would suggest.
Like earlier, visually I got hit by it, but I didn't take any damage until I got hit by it a second time. I guess I was jumping in the same frame or something. But yeah, I would say that it is misleading sometimes.
Also in this room, this is probably one of the more harder rooms. Nearing closer to the end, there's sort of a bit of enemies at you and don't really give you too many 6 healing crystals yet.
Wow, that took forever.
I know I told you, Crimson, the last time we were here, but I think this is the room that took me the longest across the whole game. And then comparatively, the boss was like relatively easy.
Funny enough, I still have problems with the Acheron boss.
Yeah, for me it was more the collision on the ground, and I can bring that up when you get there.
Yeah, this is like one of the few bosses that have a dynamic environment that you find in, which personally myself, this is my favorite boss by far out of all of them. I wish they did a lot more. I wish they did a bit more with the environment manipulation.
Yeah, by far it's really cool. Probably the most aesthetically pleasing boss fight.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like Judge, if you beat her inside the game, Judge, you can go into the bestiary and look at Judge and see her and see how she looks for this level. Gears and everything factory, all very beautiful. What are you gonna say?
They're just hiding on the other side of the wall. I'm so glad that didn't happen. I almost accidentally bugged the game out.
Is it just an issue with like enemies clipping into things or something?
So there's a spot right here. They might have actually patched that out with their other patches, but I've accidentally teleported directly into the boss room by landing somewhere in there when I was trying to dash back onto the platform. And it's actually a pretty forgiving skip, or it was.
Oh, but that invalidates AFE, right?
Exactly.
A little bit of hidden voice talker behind him, knowing what the game is.
Come on, come over here. I have the high ground.
Probably a good strategy, which he's showing here, is getting them all consolidated to one point, so as opposed to juggling them when they're all around.
How big this was?
Wow, that didn't heal me at all.
She was close to doing it.
Oh yeah, wow, that
Being the
Serve the wheels of fate.
Yes, I think the layout of this arena is my favorite, but the gears, the hitboxes of the gears feel very unforgiving for like trying to move around on them.
Yeah. I would say that she also seems to have like infinite health in this level sometimes. Where is that? Like compared to every other level, her health bar does not seem to drop.
I think she does have a bit more health. I've noticed that a lot of my damage is chip damage, even if I'm like hitting her directly.
So that attack, I lucked out there too. Every so often they can activate like super homing. And they'll just start wrapping around you.
I have the scar.
I'm genuinely surprised that there's not like, I mean, obviously the game is still pretty new, but some form of like damage glitch, you know, where you do something and increase the damage of one gun just massively enough that it makes bosses a lot easier. I feel like that would be the next like big thing.
I know there's been some talk in the Discord about experimenting with Persephone.
Oh, because of the ultimate? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see, if anything,
I didn't get it.
maybe a little off session.
I would too.
It is probably like my favorite one, visually, aesthetically. It like has a lot. You have to fight that. But damage-wise, it is probably the lowest DPS. Yeah.
I shall be obeyed.
Oops. I somehow soared over my intended trajectory by a lot.
My God.
Is what I was saying. The hitboxes for these are so weird.
Yeah.
I thought you were on the water there.
It especially when she changes the directions of them sometimes. It's like I feel like the game stops knowing what to do with you specifically and then just kind of throws you. It'd be pretty funny to see how far you can get tossed.
Is there a wall around this arena, or is it just, can you just run out there?
I'll try in a moment after I kill her.
Yeah. Obviously don't do anything unsafe right now.
Something honestly I thought about Sneak. With the nose up, I'm one of them. They added these.
Okay, yeah, there's a box somewhere right around there that'll reset your position.
I think that was just you landing.
Well, you can chill safely in the water in a lot of the parts, but maybe you're right there.
Okay.
It might be deep. I don't know.
Deep water, the bane of all.
Yeah. Help, I can't swim. All right. So as I said, I'm going to go the safe route on this one too. Specifically because when you go to fight the actual red judge, she has her first wave of attacks. And of course, it's like, the last level. So her first wave of attacks, she can send out like hundreds of projectiles. So she like dots the landscape with these flame things that expand and then shoots like projectiles everywhere, right? And it pretty much covers the whole arena and makes it like not a safe place to stand. And if you go into that arena and she activates the combo at just the right way, you pretty much insta-die as soon as you walk in. And I found that while you can get lucky, which I have a couple of times on that, but if you walk in with the the Hound's ult, you can actually cause her to get like skip. Essentially, she'll immediately go to the second part of that phase. So,
Yeah, I have not gone to the speed at which I skip some. I want to skip and pile on. Especially with the final boss deal.
that's another reason why Vulcan is so good.
She has iron because of auto bomb. So even though it could precision become see that one get over.
But yeah, with Ultimate Summer Dave at max rank, which it is, you're pretty much charging your ults faster than they can like pretty much deal with you.
The judge was up to something. Since she got her memory back,
Like, look, I've already almost
don't get to rule
to the point where I got my ult again. So whatever weapon you're using a lot,
I don't think back and forth. I don't want to this round. When he's not using.
it's spawned on the other side of the room. I've never seen it do that. It either spawns right there, or sometimes over here somewhere.
And also, I think in the newest patch, the problem fix the calibration on calibrator, or it would give you like set it all, even though, or when you were using it, which was for me personally, it was a. Now that that's fit, easier to calibrate and on beat.
Oh no.
A good thing you got that last down. Oh, and he brings you back down. Yeah, that's the one thing about the Vulcan is if panicking and you hit off beat, you sort of get on.
Yeah, I think it was Lisa. Maybe she had forgotten stuff too.
Yeah, that was scary for a second. Also, that health, that Styx Crystal didn't even heal me. It was like barely any health at all.
Answer. You don't have to move to the beat. You don't have to dash to the beat either. But if you dash to the beat, it does maintain your combo, and it does allow you to have faster.
That's why I wasn't caring too much about my Fury right there. That huge spawn of marionettes. We're going for a score, yeah. Because I think the amount of time you spend at 16 times.
Actually, that's something interesting. Do score runs use a different weapon? Or did they use the Vulcan?
I would want to say yes. Because you do too much damage with the Vulcan. If I switch to the Hounds right there, I can shoot the marionette once and then slaughter it. So I get the points for the slaughter.
And it's just all about like maximizing the points without getting hit.
So there's a ton of built-in combos, but I think double slaughters might be one of the more scoring ones.
If you utilize a lot, it can definitely give a lot. Well as headshot. Whereas with the Vulcan, it's see, you guys may you want to.
What had happened back there with the angel?
Yeah, I got through the cloud fast enough.
Why'd they go after her?
The
Get rid of her.
oh, go ahead.
They afraid of her. Tell you now,
And here we are at the final
I
fight.
should have thought about that more.
Not quite.
Oh. Oh wait, no, that's right. There's this one. Okay, good.
No.
I was gonna mention, you do have your hit streak on the left. More hits you get, more score you get out of that as well. So theoretically, if you were spread out your hits possible and get as many hits as you can, that would benefit your score. But I would say the Hounds probably the best option.
So unlike most of the other bosses, I'm gonna make sure I go in with full HP.
And also,
hope I
unlike most other bosses, this one isn't a judge.
Yeah, she's actually the judge, like the red judge instead of an aspect. Sometimes Cambions are annoying. They try their best to stay in range of you so they can shoot you. Then sometimes they go on vacation and kind of forget to do any of that.
Seemed to me like Judge got a raw deal back there.
It was somehow faster to do that than it was to go get the health crystal. All right, so skip the epic cutscene. Immediately do this. Hope she doesn't immediately kill me with the. All right, we skipped it. Now we just have this to worry about. So if you don't do enough damage to her immediately, which is what I've been able to do a couple of times with Last Breath, but she started, I don't know if it was the most recent couple patches, she tucks her stomach in now when she goes to do that first wave, making it very hard to hit her.
And luckily, this final boss is pretty simple. You shoot the glowy bits.
Yeah. She didn't stay in the guard phase for too long. She usually stays there a lot longer.
There was an earlier patch. You could stay up top on the platform. Allow you to shoot the aspect down, get hit by an aim.
Again, I'm doing this to try to skip a lot of shots. Didn't quite happen.
Pretty close, though.
Oh, I'm not just doing that for the memes.
I wasn't sure. Did they push? Did Ames get pushed back into the wall there?
I believe there's a little bit of knockback, yeah.
Yeah.
Final stand. Single it.
Ooh, that ultimate was really good.
Yeah. Get to see a once and only the permanent.
Nice.
Deal with.
The amount of times I've died on that last phase is kind of saddening. I got stuck in a reload twice there. I think we beat our time, like our estimate, at the very least.
Is that time?
Yeah,
almost.
oh, wait, oh, no,
Almost.
Yeah, it, yeah, you gotta wait for her to dramatically die. Wait for it. And that's where the timer would stop.
Nice.
You have come
And Shadow.
but I only have part of it.
And then you got the
The rest is in
lovely bit here. I don't know if you want me to
some of
just
us
skip over that.
Totally up to you. If people want to learn this game, learn more about speedrunning it, where should they go?
So there is there's a couple of guides put out by The Casual on speedrun.com. I want to say /Metal Hellsinger. Hang on. I'm just so used to just typing Metal Hellsinger in my search bar, and it's like the first thing that pops up for me. So it's, yeah, speedrun.com /metal_Hellsinger. And then there's, in the guide section, The Casual put forward a how-to for each of the levels on Goat. It was either Goat or Lamb, but The Casual was one of the pioneers as well for going through pretty much and like reducing the time. He was the first to get sub 1 hour in the like the any difficulty run. So basically on the link, like on the guide section, there's like each level and how like to shave off time and whatnot for it. Otherwise, I would say my personal strat is you do a full run, all 8 hells, and no matter how good or bad you do, you just keep going until you finish it, right? And then afterwards, you try to tackle each level individually and try to beat your best time on that level individually. And once you get a PB on all of them, you retry the 8 hells again. So like pretty much every time you get a better time, you're going to shave off like, you know, a minute or two at the very least if you, you know, do it that way. Because if you've practiced each level and then you go to do the full run, regardless of if you go a little bit over or under on a run, like on a level, you've got the other levels that you've practiced enough that you can save time.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hey, thank you for coming on and showing this off, and you know, glad we got to do it with your internet giving us the business.
Yeah. So this is the final score screen. The timer stops, but in order to get verified, you need to at least show this screen to show that the level was done. There was a patch a while back that added an accessibility option that allows you to play through the entire game and always beat match. So,
I guess that is good. Yeah. Okay.
It'll
so
cancel you out from the leaderboards. So
yeah, it'll remove you from the leaderboards. So just so there's a quick check, if you can see a score and your unbeat isn't 100%, well, mostly the score thing. So as long as that's good. But yeah, again, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of
Been
course.
a blast.
Yeah, thank you to Shadowfang_live. Check him out on Twitch for this, and CrimsonBloodedRuby for coming back and commentating this. He was the one who did the YOLO run last time, and that was really appreciated.
Yeah, you really pulled through for me there.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I did a really good job. Yeah, so we're going to go to a quick break, and we'll be right back with Gunfire Reborn. Stay tuned.